Hello, my dear students. Welcome to this very important session of the chapter similarity. There are in total, I think, approximately 4 theorems or properties that we are going to learn today. Out of that, very important property is basic proportionality theorem. We have to understand the proof of this theorem also. If we understand the theorem, we have to understand the converse of the theorem, means basic proportionality theorem, converse of basic proportionality theorem, that will be the second one. Next one is angle bisector theorem. This is another very important theorem. We have to, actually speaking, they may not ask you to prove angle bisector theorem, but sometimes they ask this angle bisector theorem in a form of a question. And you should basically understand how to prove this angle bisector theorem because of few reasons that you will come to know when I try to explain you the proof of angle bisector theorem. Of course, then converse of angle bisector theorem comes by default. And after that, I think the last one remains is intercepts made by parallel lines. 3 parallel lines, maybe 4 also can be there. But basically we take 3 parallel lines and the intercepts made by 3 parallel lines, we have to understand them. That we don't have to prove as such. But of course these 2 theorems, basic proportionality theorem to prove, we should know very nicely, and angle bisector theorem, we should know how to prove it very nicely. Okay. Now coming to the topic of theorems, my dear students, the first and the most important part that you have to understand when you go to prove any theorem or even when you go to apply a theorem in the problems that you are going to solve. See, my dear students, these are 2 different aspects. First of all, understand these 2 different aspects. In one, you are going to prove the theorem. You are going to prove the theorem. Any property is there, any theorem is there, any law is there, you have to prove that law. You have to prove that theorem. That's a different concept. And once you know this theorem, you are going to use the theorem and apply that theorem in the problems that are asked to you to solve them. That is a different matter. Okay. One, we have to understand the theorem. We have to prove the theorem. We have to prove the theorem. And second, we have to apply the theorem. I'll try to explain you the both. First, you understand that, first you get registered in your mind that these are 2 different things in which you are going to handle a theorem. 2 different things in which we are going to handle a theorem. One is you are going to prove a theorem that this happens. You are going to prove that theorem. And the other one is you are going to apply the theorem and solve different problems that have been asked to you. This is a different concept. Fine. Now coming to the proof of the theorem. First of all, let us take one at a time. I have to but register you with the idea that you have to supposed to prove the theorem. Now come to the idea of proving a theorem. Let us first understand a theorem. When we have to go to prove the theorem, first understand the concept of the theorem. What is a theorem? Theorem basically is a law. And my dear students, every theorem requires a need, a condition to be satisfied. Only if a certain condition is satisfied, then and only then the theorem will be applicable. Unless and until that condition is not satisfied, theorem will not be applicable. So first and foremost, what is the meaning of this? See, my dear students, the first theorem that you must have come across must have been the Pythagoras theorem. Now, do you think Pythagoras theorem also have a condition? Yes, Pythagoras theorem has a condition. And what is the condition of the Pythagoras theorem? The condition of a Pythagoras theorem is that it is applicable in a right-angled triangle only. If it is a right-angled triangle, only then Pythagoras theorem will come into application. come into action or will be usable, whatever way you use it. Only if the triangle is a right angle triangle, only then Pythagoras theorem will be applicable. See, many more conditions are there. Angles in linear pair. You must have seen angles in linear pair. They also give you a solution. They give you a equation. That is another part. First of all, angles in linear pair. When are they applicable? When there is a straight line. This has to be a straight line and then two angles are formed. When the two angles are formed in such a way that the adjacent angles are a straight line, this is a straight line, this has to be a straight line, only then angles in linear pair will come into the picture. If supposing this is not a straight line, this angle forms over there, and supposing instead of coming as a straight line over here, it comes only up to here, something like that, then they are simply two adjacent angles. They are not going to be angles in linear pair. To be angles in linear pair, it is very important that this line forms a straight line. This ray forms a straight line. That is the condition of the property of angles in linear pair. Are you getting? Similarly, as I told you, for Pythagoras theorem, you require that the Pythagoras theorem triangle has to be a right angle triangle. Only then you will get that hypotenuse square is equal to side 1 square plus side 2 square. So basically what I mean to say is that every theorem has a condition. That condition has to be satisfied. Unless and until that condition is not satisfied, you can't apply the theorem. Second part, once the condition is satisfied and you call the theorem, you apply the theorem, then an equation is generated. When you apply the theorem, an equation is generated. You should be able to form that equation, my dear students. Once you know that this condition is satisfied for a certain theorem, I can call that certain theorem, because for that theorem whatever condition is required is satisfied over here in this diagram. Then you will call the theorem, and after calling a theorem, you should be able to create the or generate the equation of that theorem. That is the result of that theorem. That is the most important part. All these things come in a sequence, my dear students. First, see the condition is satisfied. Then you have to call the theorem that I am going to apply so and so theorem. And when you apply the theorem, the equation will get generated. Okay, my dear students. So now let us understand basic proportionality theorem. See, when it comes to basic proportionality theorem, what does this theorem read? If a line parallel to one side of a triangle, or if a line parallel to one side of a triangle intersects other two sides in two distinct points. See, it is very important. See what they mean to say, why each and every word is important. If a line parallel to one side of a triangle. Now supposing if I target this side and I draw a line parallel to side AB, I can draw infinite number of lines. Of course, I can draw this line. This is parallel to AB, this line which is parallel to AB, this line which is parallel to AB, but none of these three lines of my use for BPT, for basic proportionality theorem. Why? Because it says if a line parallel to one side of a triangle intersects other two sides in two distinct points. These lines, the line that I am going to draw which is parallel to AB, has to intersect other two sides. Which are the other two sides? AC and BC. That parallel line has to intersect AC and BC in two distinct points. So I will have to draw a line which is parallel and will be cutting the other two sides in this fashion only. Of course, here I can, in this range, I can again draw infinite number of lines, but they have to be in this range only. They have to be in this range only. Then only they are considerable. These all are not to be considered. They are of no use. They are not the parallel lines of the theorem. That is why these words are very important. If a line parallel to one side of a triangle intersects other two sides in two distinct points, here the condition, this is the condition of the BPT, that there has to be a line parallel to one side of the triangle, and that line should be cutting the other two sides in plain English language. This is the condition. Are you getting? And this is given of your theorem. When you are going to prove the theorem, this is the given of your theorem. This will come under the given. What will be coming under the given? That this line, whichever you label it, supposing if it is PQ, line L is parallel to AB and is cutting other two sides, AC and BC, in Q and P respectively. This will be your given. Then what happens is that, sorry my dear students, then the result, then what happens is that, then that means the result now. What is the result? The line divides the two sides in equal proportion. In equal proportion means this line which is dividing the two sides, AC and BC, it will divide them in equal proportion. Means you can come from here, CQ upon QA. Remember this, CQ upon QA will be equal to CP upon PB. Are you getting, my dear students? See, you are trying to understand this. Now here I will draw a few more diagrams for you. You have to understand this. You have to write everything over here. See, there is a triangle like that again. And then I draw a line parallel to this one. Now here A, B, C. Again I take it as P, Q. Fine. So here what you will have to see that PQ is parallel to AB, AC. If it is there, if PQ parallel to AC. Therefore, now see, this is the condition satisfied. I am telling you there are three different steps. Condition satisfied, PQ parallel to AC. This should be given in the question, or you should have proved it. You should be having this with you. PQ parallel to AC. Then what you will do? By BPT. You are calling this theorem. This theorem is coming into action. What is going to be the equation generated? BP upon PA. BP upon PA is equal to BQ upon QC. BQ upon. This is the application of the theorem, my dear students. See, if there is some other, you should be able to do it in plenty of ways. You should be able to apply this theorem. But at present, we are going to prove this theorem. So in this case, when we are going to prove this theorem, so we have to prove that this happens, that when line parallel to one side of the triangle cuts the other two sides in two different points, then it is cutting the lines in proportion. That you have to prove. This you have to prove. Here the equation that is going to be formed, you have to prove that equation. So coming to this topic, when they ask you prove basic proportionality theorem, or they may give you the statement prove that if a line parallel to one side of a triangle intersects other two sides in two distinct points, then the line divides the two sides in equal proportion. You have to prove this. It divides the two sides in equal proportion. This you have to prove. So here when the proof starts, what happens here? First, definitely you will require a triangle. I will purposely draw the triangle that is in your textbook, so that if you have to refer it, you will be able to refer. This is triangle A, B, C, and of course there is a line L. This is the line L, which is parallel to BC and cutting AB at P and AC at Q. Yes, fine. So now what is there in given? Say given will be the condition satisfied. Line L is parallel to BC. Fine. L is parallel to BC. And then you have to prove what you have to prove? That it divides the two sides in equal proportion. That means this AP upon PB is equal to AQ upon QC. This you have to prove. Okay, my dear students, so this you have to prove. So next what happens, our proof starts. Before going to the proof, what you have to do that. Now here this is basically going to be your basics also tested. If you have done your yesterday's exercise nicely, only then you will come to know about this. Fine. Construction, you have to do construction. Sorry my dear students, I'm not construction. Draw segment PC and segment BQ. Now see here, my dear students, what is going to happen. Whatever you have learnt in the first exercise is going to come to your help now. See, you have to consider two triangles now. Two triangles. What is the set of the two triangles? Try to understand the two triangles. See here. This is the actual figure now you have got. Fine. This is your parallel line, line L. This is your A. This is your B, C, P, Q. Fine. This is your... Fine. Now here you have to take two triangles. Consider now what you are going to take. See, triangle A, P, Q. Triangle A, P, Q and triangle B, P, Q. See, if you consider these two triangles, APQ and BPQ, what do you see? Yesterday I have done that. Do you feel that these triangles have equal heights? You can say this. How? Yesterday we have done that. If the two triangles have bases in same line, have a base in same line and they share a common vertex, then the two triangles have equal heights. Right? If the two triangles, these are the two triangles having bases in same line. This is one base, this is second base. Having bases in one line and they share a common vertex. Then I can say that these two triangles have equal heights. Right? Similarly, here if I say, see, what is the base now? You have to understand that. Try to guess. This is going to be a common vertex. See my students. This is going to be a common vertex. So what are the base? AP and PB. They are in same line. That's all. Here you have to tell now. Proof for triangle APQ and BPQ. In triangle APQ and triangle BPQ, what are the bases? Bases AP and PB are in same line and they share common vertex. Which one? Q. Therefore, triangle APQ and triangle BPQ have equal height. Finished? So now you can say very nicely, therefore area of triangle APQ upon area of triangle BPQ will be equal to what? Equal to the ratio of their bases. What is that? AP upon PB. AP upon P. If H1 is equal to H2, then area of triangle 1 upon area of triangle 2 is equal to what? B1 upon B2. This is the reason. Now this is your first equation. Same thing you have to do on the other side. Same thing you are going to do on the other side. See, now what happens in the other part? Again I take one triangle, this is a triangle, this is a line, A, B, C, this is a line L, this is your P and this is your Q. Now what? APQ is going to be same. This is your triangle A, P, Q. AQ and QC will be in the same line. They will be sharing common vertex P. Everything same you will be doing on the other side. So what I will get over here? In triangle APQ and triangle CPQ, bases AQ and QC are in same line and they share a common vertex. What is that vertex? P. Therefore, triangle APQ and triangle CPQ have equal height. Therefore, area of triangle APQ upon area of triangle CPQ is going to be equal to what? Bases. What are the base? Base of area of triangle APQ is AQ and that of CPQ is QC. This is going to be, of course, again the same reason. If H1 is equal to H2, then area of triangle 1 upon area of triangle 2 is equal to B1 upon B2. This is going to be our second point. Now comes the next step, my dear students. See, this is very simple, no confusion. But now what I want to tell you is something different now. See here, once you will take this two and you will get one equation generated. This is property that you are using from the exercise 1.1. Simple, ratio of areas of triangle. Ratio of areas of triangle. If heights are equal, the ratio of area of triangle is equal to the ratio of their bases. You are using over here, you are using over here. Fine, same thing. Fine, and then next what you are going to do, once more you have to do, again third time. A, B, C, this is your line L, this is your P and this is your Q. Now next what you are going to apply, see all your exercise 1.1 is going to come. You are going to consider this two. See now, if you consider this in the numerator APQ, in denominator BPQ and CPQ. BPQ and CPQ. Now you have to get the area, ratio of areas of triangle BPQ and CPQ. Ratio of areas of triangle BPQ and CPQ. So for that what I will have to do, see my dear students, BPQ is this, fine, and CPQ is this. So what do you think about them now? They are the triangles having equal bases, same common base PQ, and they also have equal height. Why? Because they are between two parallel lines. PQ is parallel to BC is given. PQ is parallel to BC is given, and because PQ is parallel to BC, these two triangles are the triangles between two parallel lines, and hence they will be having equal heights. So what happens? The triangle BPQ and triangle CQP have common base and equal height. See, fine. So now here I'll tell in triangle BPQ and triangle, in क्या जरूरत है, triangle BPQ and triangle CQP have common base. What is that base? PQ. And they are between two parallel lines. Therefore, triangle BPQ and triangle CQP have equal height. So both they have got common base and equal height. Therefore, area of triangle BPQ is actually equal to area of triangle CQP. Fine. Here you can tell if B1 is equal to B2 and H1 is equal to H2, then area of triangle 1 is equal to area of triangle 2. Fine. This is the rule. Fine. So this you have got, and this is going to be your 3. Now see, my dear students, BPQ is equal to CQP. See, I want to frame this. Now if these two are equal and they divide same, if they go and divide same, like area of triangle, I am purposely taking APQ. APQ, I am dividing APQ by BPQ. Area of triangle BPQ will be equal to area of triangle APQ upon area of triangle CQP. See, basically what is happening? These two are equal. BPQ is equal to CQP. Both are equal, and these equal figures are going to divide one equal figure. APQ, APQ. Both places APQ, and I am dividing them by equal sides. So they still will be equal. But now from this, from 1, APQ upon BPQ is equal to this. From 1, 2, and this you can take as 3, sorry. From 1, 2, and 3. In 3 you have got APQ upon BPQ. What is that APQ upon BPQ? AP upon PB. AP upon PB will be equal to APQ upon CQP. APQ upon CQP is CPQ. AQ upon QC will be equal to AQ upon QC, and this is nothing but your AP upon PB is equal to AQ upon QC. You have proved the theorem. You have proved that whenever a line is parallel to a side, then AP upon PB is going to be equal to AQ upon QC. You have proved the theorem now. Are you getting, my dear students? So understand what you are going to apply, how you are going to apply. First you understand this, and this is going to teach you the same thing that I told you. When you apply a theorem, an equation gets generated. When you apply a property, an equation gets generated. This is what you have to understand. This is the main thing that you have to understand. See what happens over here. When I take the first time, I take triangle APQ and triangle BPQ, I take this and then I apply the rule of ratio of areas of triangle. Here there is no condition needed, except conditions are what? If bases are equal, then the ratios will be equal to the ratio of the heights. If heights are equal, then the ratio of triangle will be equal to the ratio of their bases. Try to understand, my students. I may be going fast. You have to understand this. You have to talk to yourself. I speak, you understand, will never happen. I can only make you what you are supposed to think, but you will have to think, and you will have to speak, and you will have to understand. See, I repeat, when bases are equal, when the triangles have equal bases, the ratio of the areas of triangle will be equal to ratio of their heights. And when heights are equal, ratio of areas of triangle. See, when I am seeing this, I am thinking here area of triangle 1 upon area of triangle 2. I am thinking like this. This you have to think. When heights are equal, when the two triangles have equal heights, ratio of the areas of triangle will be equal to ratio of their bases, B1 upon B2. This you have to understand. This you have to think. This you have to speak to your oneself again and again. Because now next what happens? See now what? I am showing this. This is what I am trying to tell you. 1, 2, 3. Condition satisfied. Call the theorem and the equation should get generated. This is continuously happening. Throughout geometry, this keeps on happening. See here, in triangle, I am giving you the address. This is actually, I call that I am giving the address. And then here I say bases AP are in same line and they share a common vertex Q. Therefore, they have equal heights. I have showed that they have equal heights. And when they have equal heights, then what is the equation getting generated? This is the equation getting generated by this theorem. This is the theorem called. Are you getting my point? This is the equation. You should be able to create this equation. This is very important. This is very important. You should be able to create and create the equation, full equation. Right hand side, area of triangle 1 upon area of triangle 2. Everything should be neatly written, complete. The thought has to be complete. Is equal to what? B1 upon B2. Now what is the B1? AP upon... These diagrams, my dear students, draw these diagrams every time. I am telling you, every time draw these diagrams. See, unless and until your brain gets trained, you have to show your brain, you have to show your eyes what they are supposed to see. And this is the exercise which will make your eyes, train your eyes to see what they are supposed to see, so that your brain follows that. Are you getting, my dear students? Don't get bored of that. Do this. Once you become the master, your eyes trace the diagram, your eyes track the diagram nicely, your brain can see without the pencil being drawn. You can be able to speak to the diagram. Diagram speaks to you back. This will happen. But unless and until this exercise you don't do, your eyes and your brain will not be trained to track the diagram, to read the diagram, to speak to the diagram. This is the higher level I am telling. Once you go like this, thinking properly, tracking the diagrams, only then your eyes and brain will properly track them. And then you will be able to speak to the diagrams. And when you are able to speak to the diagrams, then definitely the diagrams will speak back to you. This will happen. But do this in proper format. Draw these diagrams. Second part, what you are going to do? You are going to take this triangle and this triangle. In this triangle, again, give everything. How the condition is satisfied, what are the bases in line, and which is the common vertex that is being shared. Write this in detail. Write this in detail for your own self. Train your brain and then see this. Then call the theorem and then the equation will get generated. This is the equation getting generated. Are you getting, my dear students? So like this, you will be using two theorems. Actually, one theorem in two parts of the triangle. Same theorem you are using in two parts of the triangle. Then you will be calling the second theorem, in which two triangles have equal base and they also have equal height. Then there are two results. Area of triangle 1 upon area of triangle 2 is equal to 1 upon 1, which we had in that exercise. Second, area of triangle 1 is equal to area of triangle 2. Fine. That is what you will be using over here. Again over here, you will have to show that the condition is satisfied. They have equal common base, and because they are between two parallel lines, they have equal height. This is the condition satisfied. And then by calling the theorem, this is the equation generated. Like this, you have got three equations with you. One equation, two equation, three equation. But with the third equation, to get combined with this, you required area of triangle APQ up, area of triangle APQ up, so you divide this, divide area of triangle APQ by both this, because they are equal. So when they both divide area of triangle APQ, they will still be equal. There is a meaning of this equal to sign, my dear students. They will still be equal. And then this is your third equation. And then from 1, 2 and 3, you will be able to get this. See, it is very important that you understand the theorem also, and you understand how equations are equalized with each other, how you compare the equations, how you bring the equations in proper form. This again is being taught over here. That is another step, another part of geometry. Okay, my dear students, with this I complete basic proportionality theorem. And of course, the converse of basic proportionality theorem. What will be the converse of basic proportionality theorem? Converse means, actually speaking, if I get by any chance, that P in triangle PQR, if I happen to get, this is my A, B, if PA upon AQ is equal to PB upon BR, this is true, this is given to me, or I prove it by any way. I prove that this upon this is equal to this upon this. Then what happens? Then I can say that AB is parallel to QR. Exactly reverse of this. If line divides the two sides in equal proportion, this will be given. If line divides the two sides in equal proportion, then the line is parallel to one side, the third side. If line divides two sides in equal proportion, then that segment or that line which divides the two sides in equal proportion is parallel to the third side. This will be the converse. So in this case, what will happen? If I by any chance, see here many things can be there. You should be able to do in many ways. See, if supposing there is another line here, this is C, and then here I get that RB upon BP is equal to RC upon CQ. This I get. Then what will happen? Then the result will be, this is the condition satisfied. Then by converse of this BPT, what I will get? BC is parallel to AQ. BC is parallel to AQ. This will be by converse of BPT. Are you getting? Same if I go to the another thing. Supposing I get this AC. This here I get QA upon AP will be equal to what? Guess. QC upon CR. If this is true, then by converse of BPT, what will I get? AC is parallel to PR. This will be the result at that time. Okay, my dear students, so that is the meaning of converse of BPT. So we have understood BPT and we have understood converse of BPT, and now we will go to converse of BPT and all. You don't have to prove it, but of course, and angle bisector theorem, this is very important theorem. Again, you get many questions based on this. You hardly get to prove this theorem, but we have to prove this theorem for our own knowledge first of all. And this question, it can come in a question form, not in a theorem form. What does this theorem say? Bisector of angle of a triangle. Like supposing there is a triangle. Now let me take the name of the triangle as they have given you in the, okay, ABC. ABC. If this there is a bisector of one angle like A, this is bisecting means it is dividing the angle CAB into two equal parts, two equal angles. This angle will be congruent to this angle. Fine. Then What does this say? If bisector of angle of a triangle divides the side opposite to them, this side opposite to them, this is supposing D. It divides the side opposite to them in the ratio of remaining sides. Means this side will be divided how? CD upon DB. CD upon DB will be equal to AC upon AB. Now see here, this should come here only and this should come here only. If this is in the numerator, then this also has to AC upon AB is equal to CD upon DB. See, you can take it in any fashion. First understand the theorem, how it is applied. Then you can understand rest of other things. These are congruent. Fine. P, Q, R, S. Now, QS is a angle bisector of angle PQR. This is the condition. Here, ray QS bisects angle PQR. This is given to you, or you have to prove in some other way. In the problems type I am telling. Then, this is the condition satisfied. Then, by angle bisector theorem, calling the theorem, what I will get? These are the two sides of the angle, QP upon QR. QP upon QR is equal to, it is cut over here, PS upon SR. PS upon SR. This is the equation generated. This you should be able to generate the equation and write it properly. Are you getting my point, my dear students? Supposing this I cut now, or should I keep it? Let it be confusion. Maybe clearance hona chahiye. You should have clear ideas even in the confused diagrams. This is supposing an angle bisector. Fine. This is another angle bisector. If you want, I can do mercy on you. Take a different color. That is all I can help you with. Fine. R, T. Now here what happens? Ray RT bisects which angle? PRQ. Angle PRQ. Remember, this has to be in middle. PRQ. It is bisecting angle PRQ. This is given. This is condition satisfied. Second, by angle bisector theorem. Call the theorem. What is the equation I will get? Which are the two sides? PR and RQ are the two sides. So PR upon QR will be equal to, these are the two sides of the angles. PR upon QR will be equal to, these are the sides bisected, PT upon QT. PT upon QT. This will be the equation generated because of the application of theorem, angle bisector theorem. Are you getting, my dear students? Similarly, if supposing third angle bisector I have got, this is the third angle bisector, these are equal. Now here ray U, PU, ray PU bisects angle QPR. It bisects angle QPR. Then by angle bisector theorem, what I will get? This is bisecting which sides? PQ and which angle? QP and QPR. So QP upon RP. You will get QP upon RP. These are the two sides of the angle. That will be different. QP upon RP will be equal to which side cut? QP पहला लिखा है, तो you will have to write this up. QP is up, तो side towards QP. QU upon RU. This proportion also should be maintained. I can't write ulta. No. Are you getting, my dear students? So, but now you have to prove this, that this happens whenever a angle bisector of any triangle cuts the opposite sides, divides the opposite sides, then it will divide the opposite side in the ratio of the other two sides. That we have to prove. Now this theorem, we have to actually prove the theorem. Now here what happens is that, see, this is triangle ABC, A is down. This is not good. A B C, and this is the angle bisector. ये डायग्राम थोड़ा सा, this diagram is basically no, I better go in that fashion only. Whatever they have showed, I'll keep it in that fashion only. This only they have shown. This is A B C. A B C, fine. A B C. This is the angle bisector, fine. Okay, my dear students. So here, in given what you will have, the angle bisector you will have. What is the angle bisector? Name is what? C D C E. What is that? E E. It is E. This is E. Fine. So here, ray CE bisects angle ACB. Remember, ACB. To prove what you have to prove, you have to prove the angle bisector theorem. By angle bisector theorem, what you will have? AC upon CB. AC upon CB is equal to what? This is the opposite sides cut. AE upon BE. AE upon BE. This you have to prove. Okay, my dear students. But here what happens? You require a construction over here. And this is slightly different construction. What is the construction over here? From B, you have to draw a line parallel to CE. From B, you have to draw a line parallel to CE. And then AC also you have to extend in such a way that it goes and intersects. That's why I'm telling you, it goes beyond the page. That's why I was wondering how to draw, how should I keep the triangle. Usually I draw a triangle nicely flat and all. But if this triangle I go to draw, so this ray will be something like that, and then this will go, and then this will go and hit up. So that's why I was taking some time. So how to draw the diagram. So this is what it will be. Now here construction, draw BD parallel to who? CE, such that A dash C dash D. D is where? In the straight line with AC. Fine. So now you have got BD is parallel to CE. This you have got. Okay, my dear students, the BD is parallel to CE you have got. That means what? That means which theorem will come into application now. Now see here, this is the actual figure that you have got like this now. This is your AB, approximately. This is like this. This is somewhat like this, and then this is something like this, and this is something like this. Fine. This is your A, this is your B, this is your C, this is your D, and this is your E. Fine, my dear students. Now, what is there? You have got BD is parallel to CE. This is your BD parallel to CE. This makes you think what? BD parallel to CE. If I think about applying BPT, this will be applicable in which triangle? See, BD parallel to CE, PQ parallel to BC, line parallel to a side of a triangle. So this has to be the side of the triangle, BD has to be the side of the triangle, and this is the line parallel to the side of a triangle which cuts the triangle, two sides of a triangle into different points. So this will be the triangle. Which triangle? Triangle A D B. In this triangle ADB, C is parallel to DB. Yes or no? And then you will be applying BPT over there. Proof starts. In triangle ADB, address I am giving. What I have got? Ray CE is parallel to side BD. This is by construction, right? CE is parallel to BD. So you have shown that a line is parallel to a side of a triangle. Therefore, by BPT, you can write BPT. What you will get now? AC upon CD. AC upon CD is equal to what? AE upon EB. AE upon EB. This is your 1. So where are you now? C. AC upon CB चाहिए. You have got CD. AE upon EB. ये तो मिल गया. At least this is come. AE upon EB. B is come. AC also has come. C. AC also has come. This all has come. Except CB and CD is mismatch. That means what? Now you have to prove that CB is equal to CD. That's all. Now is a different set that you have to see. CD is equal to CB means this I have to prove. CD, this side CD is equal to this side CB. Now my dear students, properly trace it. I am using this diagram again. This should not be done. I will draw another diagram. I don't want to set different or compromising standards. Fine. So this is your A, this is your, A, this is your B, this is your C, this is your D, and this is your E. I hope you will be having some problem to see because the dotted line, but once you do it in your page when you are drawing, you will not have any confusion. I am able to do it because I have drawn them. Draw them like this. When I will draw the clear sides, then you will be able to understand what is happening. Now see what is happening. You have to see that where are you now? AC is matching. A is equal to AE upon AE, AE upon B, AE upon B. Except you have to show that CB is equal to CD. You have to show what? You have to show this CB is equal to this CD. How will you do that? See my dear students, if I consider this triangle CDB, if I consider this triangle CDB, and I have to show CD is equal to CB, question mark, I have to show this, then what? I just have to show that this is an isosceles triangle, this angle is congruent to this angle. If I show that this is an isosceles triangle where these two base angles are congruent, if I am able to show, then I can tell that this is an isosceles triangle, therefore CB is equal to CD. And then I can replace in place of CD, I can write CB. Now my question has changed. Now my question has become suddenly that I have to prove that this triangle is an isosceles triangle. Try to understand my dear students. Try to understand what is happening. I got this equation by BPT. I got AC upon CD is equal to AE upon EB. Here everything is matching. AC is matching is equal to AE upon B is equal to AE upon EB is matching. Except that CB is not matching with CD. I have to show CB is equal to CD. Now my question is changing. CB is equal to CD. To prove CB is equal to CD, I will have to prove this triangle is basically an isosceles triangle. For that, I will show base angles are congruent. If base angles are congruent, it is an isosceles triangle, therefore these sides will be congruent. So my question has become now suddenly that I have to prove this is an isosceles triangle. For that, what I should do is that now you have to remember this. You have to remember some things. Only then it will come to you. Now see, suddenly the question has changed. Now what you have to do, again I am drawing a figure. Fine. This is how, and then this is how, and then this is how. This is your C, this is my A, this is my B, this is your D, this is your E. Now what happens, my dear students? See, these are congruent angles. This is congruent angle, angle 1, angle 1. These are congruent angles. So now if you consider they are parallel lines. See here, who are parallel lines? See, these are parallel lines. CE parallel to BD. Now you have to make transversals. One transversal which will give you corresponding angles, another transversal which will give you alternate angles. Fine. So if I want these transversals making corresponding angles over here, these two parallel lines making corresponding angles, so I will have to tell CE parallel to BD, and see, in my dear students, you will have to draw this and see. AD is a transversal. See, CE parallel to BD and AD as transversal. See, my dear students, when this is there, then see the corresponding angle. Angle ACE will be congruent to angle ADB. They are corresponding angles. ACE L हो गया, ADB another L हो गया. Fine. Angle ACE will be congruent to angle ADB. Reason will be corresponding angles or interior corresponding angles. Whatever you say, corresponding angles test. Are you getting this point? So they will be congruent over here. Similarly, what I will do in the next step, I will see here, this is my A, B, C, D, E. Now in the next step, what? Again I will take these two parallels. C parallel to BD. But now I want, and this is my 1. This is my 1. And now I want them to be alternate angles. So I will take transversal CB because a Z is needed to be formed. CB. Are you getting, my dear students? Here now I will tell CE parallel to BD. And what is the transversal? BC as transversal. So what is there? Therefore angle ECB is equal to angle CBD. See here, when this were there, they were congruent. ACE congruent to ADB, ACE congruent to ADB. This become 1. This is 1, so this also becomes 1. And now ECB congruent to BCBD. This also becomes 1. So this is 1, this is 1. Can you make out? So what you will write? This is second, this is your third. From, see here, ACE is not there. C, B, E, C. Okay. ACE, but angle ACE is congruent. This angle ACE is congruent to angle ECB. Angle ECB. This is given. This becomes your 4. Fine. These two angles are congruent. This is given to you. So from 2, 3 and 4, what I get? These two are congruent. Therefore, angle ADB is congruent to angle CBD. Okay, my dear students, I have to rub this now. Sorry if you need this. Okay, I'll manage this. I don't want to rub it because I want to, if you want to refer, you have it. So ADB is congruent to CBD. This is now I have come. ADB congruent to CBD. They both are congruent. Therefore, triangle, otherwise ADB ke jagah mein you write it, angle CDB is congruent to angle CBD. Basically what? Same angles, different names. Basically they are same angle. ADB and CDB are same angle. ADB or CDB, same angle but different names. So CDB is congruent to CBD. Therefore triangle CDB is isosceles triangle. Therefore, CD is congruent to CB. Fine. This becomes your 5. Now you came over here. 1 and 5. From 1 and 5 we get what we get? AC upon CD. In instead of CD I'll write CB. AC upon CB is equal to AE upon EB is equal to AE upon EB. This is proved. Okay, my dear student, this is really a very good question, and try to understand how things are moving. This will be a very good exercise for you when you will be solving the problems that are provided to you. See what is happening in this. Basically, first time you are using BPT. So when you are using BPT, in which part of the triangle are you using BPT? You have done construction, CE is parallel to BD, okay, fine. But then there are so many triangle ACB, then there is triangle CDB, then there is triangle. Many triangles are there. Where are you going to apply BPT? That you should be able to trace, think on your own, track properly that this line is parallel to this side. CE is parallel to BD. Then BPT will be applicable in which triangle? Think it. Train your brain properly. Train your eyes and your brain. For that, draw this like this, dotted triangles, and then draw this. Practice it again and again. Within 3 months, your brain will be trained. Once you practice this, but like this, then only. Otherwise, I can't assure. Okay, my dear students. So here, BPT is going to be applied over there. This is very simple. Now you have come to know that I have got an equation. And now what you have to learn, this will be happening to you when you are going to prove certain things in geometry. At that time, you have to prove so and so thing. So by applying a certain theorem, I am getting this equation as an output. By applying a certain theorem, I am getting this equation as an output. When I compare the two equations and the equation that I have to go to, you will be able to see that something is mismatching over there. Something is mismatching. Like this over here, I can see that AC, AE, EB all are matching, but CB and CD is a mismatch. Now suddenly your question changes. You have to move that to prove CD is equal to CB, and then you have to think from the diagram itself. If I have to prove CD is equal to CB, how do I do that? Then various methods will come to you. Various ideas will flow into you. One of them can be, now whenever I have to see that CD and CB are the sides of a triangle, I can prove that that is an isosceles triangle. Can I prove it is an isosceles triangle? Whenever you will have an angle bisector like this, parallel line like this, you have to see that if there is a parallel line over there, if there are angle bisectors over there, that means I will have to form parallel lines and transversal. Parallel lines and transversal. One set of parallel line and transversal will give me corresponding angles. One set of parallel line and transversal will be giving me alternate angles. Master this, my dear students. Master this. And then corresponding angles, see, the same thing is happening over there. Again, when you apply corresponding angle, an equation gets generated over here. When you apply alternate angles ka property, an equation gets generated over here. Again, these two equations are giving you set of angles. This angle, this angle, this angle, and then you will see that actually none is matching. But yes, angle AC is congruent to angle ECB is given to me because they are bisected. They are the outputs of an angle bisector, so they have to be equal to each other. Then ACE is equal to ECB, therefore ADB will be equal to CBD. That will come over here. My dear students, listen to this again and again. That is the beauty of video lectures. Video lectures, see, basically if tomorrow you may ask me to prove it, explain me again, what is the necessity? Run the video again, study the video again, listen to each and everything that I am trying to explain you. Master this activity. Master this activity. This is an activity, my dear students. This is an activity. What is an activity? That when I get an output of an equation, when I get an output in the form of an equation, at that time my equation will not definitely or not always match with my equation that I have to prove. Then if they are not matching, then sometimes what will be there? See here, sometimes it will be that area of triangle APQ, this is the equation, this is the equation. Here area of triangle APQ, except these two are not there. That's why I go over here in the other one and apply the ratio of areas of AP, area of triangle APQ and CPQ. This you have to think. When they are not matching, then what do I get? See, I get here AP upon PB. I get here AQ upon QC. See here, you can think in this way also. I am getting AP upon PB. I am getting AQ upon QC. Now the only thing is that if I have to prove this AP upon AP, PB is equal to AQ upon QC. See, if I have to prove these two are equal, I have to prove these two areas of triangles are equal. Ratio of areas of triangle are equal. Anyhow, if I am able to prove ratio of area of the triangle APQ and this are equal, then I can immediately say AP upon PB is equal to AQ upon QC. And in that part also, APQ upon APQ are congruent. That means now I have to only prove BPQ upon and CPQ. Area of triangle BPQ is equal to area of triangle CPQ. This I have to think. Are you getting, my dear students? I repeat, I get this equation, area of triangle APQ upon area of triangle BPQ is equal to AP upon PB. I get, here I get area of triangle APQ upon CPQ is equal to AQ upon QC. I get, now I see that AP upon PB, AQ upon QC are over here. AP upon PB, AQ upon QC are over here as they are. And if I have to show them these two things are congruent, if I have to show AP upon PB is equal to AQ upon QC, my question has changed. I have to show area of triangle APQ upon area of triangle BPQ is area equal to area of triangle APQ upon area of triangle CPQ. This I have to show. But in that also, area of triangle APQ, area of triangle APQ are equal already. That means now I have to only show area of triangle BPQ is equal to area of triangle CPQ. And for that I just apply that they are the triangles between parallel lines and having equal base, so automatically they become congruent. Now only thing is that you should be able to present it. For that I am following this. See, my dear students, this thought you have to understand, this thought, and it will take not more than, see, 2-3 exercises we solve in this thought process. 2-3 exercises you solve and you will see that 50% of geometry will be getting completed. I am on the lower margin. More than 50% will be getting completed over there. More than 50% of the geometry gets completed over here. When you apply a theorem, get an equation, apply a theorem, get an equation, combine the two and process the two, you will see that you will get that equation what you have to prove. And here 50%, more than 50% of geometry will get completed. 70 means after 65 to 80%, another 15% will be completed by some thought processes. Just you have to do some thought processes, that also will be captured immediately. Hardly 5% remains, my darling students, hardly 5% remains. That 5% you can, and how many are they? Out of 105 questions, hardly. These questions you just remember. You remember means what? Not by heart. You remember the method. Here I will be doing this, here I will be doing this, here I will be doing this. Bas. For this 5 questions out of 100. What more do we want? Our syllabus gets completed. Okay, my dear students, not taking a lot of time. I think I have taken already a lot of time of yours now here, but this needed that type of explanation. That's why it took so much of time. Master this theorem. Today's lecture is a very important lecture, my dear students. Very important lecture. Master these theorems. And once we have understood, of course, one more I wanted to explain you, intercepts made by parallel lines, but that is very easy. Now there is no space. Just a matter of one, it can be explained even when we are doing the problems based on that. It is not a very difficult theorem at all. It is just like BPT. You will not have any problem in understanding that property. Don't worry about that. At now, presently, you only study this lecture again and again, study this video again and again, and understand it. Solve this on your own. Solve this on your own. Change the name of the triangles. Change the orientation of the triangles. See whether you are able to do this. Okay, my dear students. Love you all. Thank you.